greatest love story ever told celebrates its 25th anniversary, and it's the final tease with Magic Mike's Last Dance. That's this week on the King's Corner. What's up, guys? Only two major films to talk about this week during the King's Corner. I hope you're all doing well. Thank you all so much for popping in. And right off the bat, let's start talking about Titanic. This is the 25th anniversary of the film that has been re-released in 4K 3D. I was able to see this in Cinemark XD 3D, and this is a film that I saw in theaters back in 2012 when they released it in 3D. I was blown away by the 3D of the post-conversion 3D. It's a film that wasn't made for 3D, but Cameron goes back in. He knows what he's doing. He gives us the movie in 3D. Thought it was great. But the only thing that I had a nitpick about, an issue about, back in 2012, was they had it so low, so quiet. Believe it or not, I saw it in the same auditorium, the same Cinemark XD 3D auditorium. They just had the sound down, and I don't know why. But seeing the movie today, I don't know if it was just the restoration, the new Atmos track, whatever it is, the sound was pumping. It was great. It sounded awesome, and it looked awesome. The restoration, all of that. If you want to go see it for the the resurrection, the restoration, the sound, it's all there. It's top-notch stuff. Cameron knows what he's doing, and on that aspect, it's no disappointment. And the film itself is no disappointment. If you haven't seen Titanic, you know the ship goes down. If you have seen Titanic, you'll know that it is one of, if not the greatest love story ever put to film. Cameron's excellent direction in the scenes that take place before they hit the iceberg and the scenes that take place after the iceberg. You need all the stuff leading up to it, the romance. You understand Rose almost immediately and what kind of character she is. The younger Rose, Gloria Stewart's version of the character, the older version of the character. You understand her then, and then you see her younger, and you really understand. Okay, this is the kind of life that this person had. As soon as we meet Jack, we know him instantly, what kind of character he is. When you get him at the dinner table, he gives that little speech about, how he was sleeping under a train station or whatever he was sleeping under, and now he's drinking wine with these fine people. You get what kind of character he is. And both of them are two opposite sides of the coin. And, they come together and you believe it, because of the screenplay and because of the great performances and chemistry between Kate Winslet and Leonardo DiCaprio. They are these characters. They totally bring these characters to life and realize this romance and love story. Once they hit the iceberg, the perfect direction, if I will say the word perfect, of James Cameron, of his extras, and how the story still continues to flow within this disaster. It all just works so well. This is such an entertaining film, a little over 3 hours long. It doesn't feel like it's extremely entertaining. This is one of the best films ever made. It's one of my favorite films. Can't stop talking about the film until I mention James Horner's beautiful score, the action beats, the romance beats, the portrait score. All of it is masterful. It's an Oscar-winning score. The song, Celine Dion, My Heart Will Go On, beautiful song. This is a beautiful film. This is an incredible film, and I can gush about it, as much as possible. It's not an in-depth review of Titanic. It's just saying, look, this is a great film on all accounts. And if you want to see a good movie, go see it. If you haven't seen it already, this is your perfect chance to do it. If you have seen it and you want to go back to Titanic, this is the perfect way to do it. And hopefully we will be getting a 4K Blu-ray very soon. Hopefully along with the release of The Way of Water, they'll also put out the first Avatar and Titanic on 4K, so we'll see what happens with that. But of course, this is a 5 out of 5 movie. Recommend it. Can't recommend it enough. If you want to go see an action film, a romance film, a drama film, there's so many things that are mixed within this that just work seamlessly. So that's Titanic, one of the best movies ever made. Next, we're going to be talking about Magic Mike's Last Dance. This past week, I was able to watch the first two Magic Mike movies. The first one, I think, is actually a really solid film about stripping. It's male strippers and all that. Steven Soderbergh comes in, directs it. First one, I would say, is a solid 4 out of 5 movie for me. Second movie was kind of a dip down. It wasn't as more about the dancing and what it means to be a male performer, but more about just the spectacle of it. That was kind of the second film, like a 3 out of 5 star for me. Coming into this, takes place about 10 years after the first movie. Mike is really not dancing anymore. He's doing these little gigs, he's bartending, he's doing what he has to do to make money because his business is just none of it works. None of it worked out. His relationship, none of it works out. He meets Salma Hayek at the beginning of the film. He is kind of the bartender at this venue that she's having, and she hears about him, about how he was a dancer, and she invites him in, offers, she says, "Hey, I'll offer you some money. Give me a dance." He says, "Okay." So they have this dance, chemistry right off the bat. Uh, and the two they go from there. She says, "Hey, come with me, and I'm gonna show you the way. I got a job for you. Come with me for a month. Let's see what happens. Let's see if we can make this work." She owns a theater that's, she wants to change. She had this great dance from him. She wants to revitalize the whole thing. She wants everybody to feel what she felt, this experience, this new, fresh experience. So Mike has to choreograph and direct the show, which is going to be like a Broadway play slash male strip show. So that's the story of the film, and this is right in the middle for me. I do think it's a good movie. Don't think it's a great movie. I think the performances are all great. I think the chemistry between Channing Tatum, Selma Hayek is great. They have great chemistry. This was one of the best roles that she's been in. She's given a pretty good performance, and she's believable in the role. The family dynamic, I think, really works. The butler she has, her daughter, everything going on there really works. She's going through a divorce in the movie, so that stuff plays into it. I thought that all worked really well. It's just, it's very light when you're going outside of the family dynamic. He's got to teach these guys, these gymnasts, these acrobatics, these dancers how to be a male stripper, how to dance, how to do it. So that stuff is just like, it's entertaining, but it's not as powerful as maybe the family dynamic stuff, the relationship that Mike and the Maxine, whatever her name was, the Salma Hayek character, the relationship that they have, but none of it is just really powerful. I think the first film had a really good screenplay about the underground world of a male stripper. What do you do? What's going on? What it means to get into it, how to live a life, as this person that has this job. Really liked the screenplay to that, and there was a little more to it. This, not as much to it, but it's not as empty as the second movie, for me anyway. One of the other things that didn't work for me was there's a lot of narration in the film. Salma Hayek's daughter's always kind of has something to say. She's narrating a lot of the movie, seemed like a lot of the movie, and every time it comes on, it's like, okay, you don't need to tell me what's happening. I can already see it. So that did get a little annoying, but the final scene, the big dance, the show that they're trying to put on, really entertaining. Uh, Great climax, great third act, and the final dance is one of the most, if not most sensual, one of the most sensual scenes ever put to film. I will say that's extremely sensual, uh, intimate, romantic, all that stuff. Um, so really worked. By the end of the film, you go, okay, that wasn't bad. So now we have a nice little Magic Mike trilogy, and Magic Mike's Last Dance, a 3.5 out of 5-star film for me. So that's where we're at with this week's new releases. The physical media roundup that we're going to have this week. We're talking about 2 new releases: 4K Blu-ray, 4K Steelbook this week, starting with Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. 2 versions of the Steelbook came out that Marvel put out. They put out this version, which is more of the hero Wakanda version. And then they put out another version, which was Namor and his people, his aquatic friends on there. So, really nice, though. I decided to go with this version, more of the main characters, the heroes of the film. Uh, how do you not get the Steelbook with Oscar nominee, potential Oscar winner, Angela Bassett for the first Oscar-winning performance for an MCU film, and that's going to be pretty huge. So, enjoyed the film though. It's not as good as the first one, but I did enjoy it. I am excited to see the next film in the series, Quantum Mania, which we'll be talking about in next week's episode of the King's Corner. And the next Steelbook, the final Steelbook we'll be talking about is The Warm Bodies. The film came out in 2012, 2013. I remember seeing this in theaters. Really nice Steelbook. This was already on 4K Blu-ray. They re-released it on a Steelbook. Lionsgate does that, so we'll kind of see what comes down the pipeline later on. So, Valentine's Day, this is a romance film, so you want to watch Titanic in the theater, come home, watch Warm Bodies, pick up the Steelbook, pick up the Blu-ray, watch it, do what you got to do. So that's where we're at with that, guys. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more episodes of The King's Corner, where next week we will be talking about Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. It's a big release. Also, don't forget to subscribe for Last of Us spoiler reviews. Every week we'll be doing spoiler videos for that. Next episode's coming out tomorrow night because they're avoiding the Super Bowl for Sunday. Also, don't forget to follow me on Twitter at RyanKing72 and on Instagram and TikTok at KingOfRises131. That's been it for me. Thank you so much for watching this episode of The King's Corner. And until next time, over and out.